Hello, Lions fans! Today, we're on the edge of our seats as we dive into developments that could change the game for our beloved team. With talks of rule changes stirring the pot and a special meetup that could strengthen our defense, the anticipation is sky high. If you're ready for a deep dive into what's brewing in the Lions' den, smash that like button and let's roar together into today's news. The Detroit Lions have come up with some cool ideas for new rules in football to help teams when their players get hurt. Since football is a rough sport, players getting injured is something that happens a lot, and it can really change whether a team might win the big trophy, the Super Bowl. The Lions suggested two big changes about how teams can bring players back after they get hurt. Right now, if a player gets hurt and you want them to come back later in the season, they have to have been on the team's main list of 53 players for at least one day. The Lions want to make it so teams can pick two players to come back, even if they got hurt before the season started and the team had to make their player list shorter. They also want to let teams bring back as many players as they need during the playoffs. At the moment, teams can only bring back 8 players from being hurt during the whole season and playoffs. These ideas probably came up because the Lions had some key players get hurt right before the playoffs. One important player, Sam Laporta, got hurt in the last game before the playoffs, which could be why the Lions are thinking these rule changes are a good idea. If the NFL says yes to these changes, it means teams that are trying to win the big trophy will have a better chance to pick the best team by bringing back players who were hurt. As we navigate through these potential game changers, the plot thickens with the Lions' strategic play off the field. Moving from the possibility of rule revisions that could bolster our playoff battles, we're now eyeing a new alliance that could fortify our ranks. Buckle up as we introduce a new contender stepping into the spotlight this Friday. The Detroit Lions are planning a fun meetup with Tavierre Thomas, a free agent cornerback, this Friday. Thomas, who is 28 years old, had to sit out the end of the 2023 season because he got hurt and couldn't play anymore. He also had to deal with a bunch of injuries while he was with the Houston Texans. In the games he did play in 2023, Thomas was pretty busy on the field. He managed to stop players 51 times, made 2 of those stops behind the line where the other team loses yards, forced the ball out of the other team's hands twice, and even broke up a pass. Before joining the Texans, Thomas played in 45 games with the Cleveland Browns for 3 years. Jeff Risdon, a writer who knows a lot about Thomas from his time in Cleveland, said, "Thomas is super good at playing on special teams, which means he's really fast at running down the field during kickoffs and punts. He might not be the smoothest cornerback, but he's really stood out since he was never picked in the draft by being amazing at special teams and being a really nice guy in the locker room." This offseason, the Lions are mixing things up with their team, especially the players who defend against passes, by adding Carlton Davis and Amik Robertson to the mix. Davis, who has a Super Bowl ring, sees something special in the Lions, kind of like his old team, the Buccaneers. He mentioned, "I think they have a really cool young team, amazing coaches, and a great team spirit that can really make something happen," Davis said. "Honestly, looking back at when we won in Tampa, I see a lot of those same good things here, but with younger players, which means they can only get better." And that wraps up our Lions News Roundup. From groundbreaking rule proposals to exciting player meetups, the Lions are not just playing the game, they're aiming to redefine it. With every move calculated and every potential new face a step towards victory, our pride is growing stronger. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and join us as we continue to chase greatness. Until next time, keep the faith and go Lions!